My name is Rouba Mhaissen. I am the founder and director of Sawa for Development and Aid, operating in Lebanon, and Sawa Foundation, operating in the region.
So Sawa is working mainly with Syrian refugees or with the local community also?
So yes, Sawa works with Syrian refugees in Lebanon, host communities, as well as the internally displaced inside Syria. I think the situation in Lebanon today is becoming more and more challenging. From one side, we have the increased racism and xenophobia against refugees, which is partly because of the rhetoric in the media, but also because of the fatigue of people from the presence of Syrian refugees in the region. Part of it is also because of the decreasing funds. So year after year, after there was in the media the idea that Syria is now safe, a lot of the donors think that they're going to start funding only inside Syria, whereas there's a lot of neighboring countries, most neighboring countries still have the same populations of Syrian refugees living there. In addition to that, I think the issue of return, so governments are now pushing refugees forcefully somehow to return to their own countries, even if they're not physically pushing them into buses, but all the conditions are becoming really terrible for refugees in the region. One of the other challenges we face is that we're often not treated as Syrian civil society as partners, real partners, equal partners. We're often not sitting at the table where decisions are made. The majority of the funds is based on access rather than based on needs. It's based on priorities that we do not set, which makes our jobs in the communities more and more difficult. How do we take care of ourselves to be resilient, I think is a difficult one, because I think as someone who's from the region, working with people from the region, you have layers and layers of how this affects you, whether it's from your family, your friends, whether it's the tragedy, the communal disappointment that we're facing, whether it's the stories that you hear in the refugee camps. But I still think that when I work with the communities, this is where I take my strength from mostly. I'm a big believer, so faith plays a big part of also keeping me going, that there will be justice, whether it's in this world or after, but there will be justice and we just need to keep fighting for it. I love music and dancing, and I love everything related to art, so I go on long walks by the sea. I think these try make me sane, but I think mostly knowing that we're all in this together and we're all fighting this fight together, I think. I mean, I definitely cannot speak in the name of a refugee because I'm not living in these same conditions, but based on my work, I can see that a lot of their frustrations relates to the fact that they don't really exist as human beings. They don't have access to work or to education. They can't decide. I mean, when we talk about, for example, voluntary return or resettlement, they don't get to choose where to go or if they can go or if they can leave or not, what they can do, what they can work, how much they can earn. These are all things beyond their control. So I think they are continuously fighting for more and more agency. And agency is there, but there's a lot of obstacles along the way. So I think what they're trying to do is to fight every day for the continuity of their existence. Today in one of the panels I got a question that really made me tear up. One of the young men said, I've been living in Jordan working 16, 18 hours a day for £200 a month. You're talking here about freedom, but what about all the people who lost their future? Is that part of freedom, and how do you define freedom? We never really saw what it means. I mean, for me in my work, even though we were not able to receive the freedom that we wanted or what we're seeking for, at least what we are trying to do is to push for a world where people have freedom in the choices that they make. And I think this is one of the facets or one of the manifestations of freedom, is how we can feel free in our day-to-day lives.